What's up YouTube, it's JB Tech Fanatic and I'm back again with another video. As always, I want to start this video by thanking each of you for joining me. If you have not yet subscribed, I'd be so honored if you consider. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and share. And if you want to know when the latest content is available, don't forget to click the notifications to on. Today, we are going to do some sneakers. Now, if you don't know this, I'm a huge sneakerhead. I usually collect just Jordans. However, I watched a movie a long time ago called Back to the Future 2. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the self-lacing Nikes. Of course, those did actually come out $50,000 to $75,000 for them. So I was really excited when I knew that Nike had been working on models that would come to retail at what I think is a pretty affordable price. Now, these are the Nike Adapt 2.0. These are complete self-lacing shoes. They work via app. They actually have to be charged. So I want to check these out with you. We'll do a quick look at them, unbox them, get a close-up look, and I will give you my honest feedback on how they perform. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Let's begin by taking a look at the packaging. We have two boxes of the brand new Nike Adapt BB version 2.0. First thing that I noticed when I got these is that these boxes are definitely unique. They're much larger than a normal shoe box. They have a lot of cool design to them, and they definitely let you know that you're getting something special. For a tech lover like myself, as well as a very large shoe fan, it is exciting to see when you have 1 through 4 options dealing with brand new technology that's really making its way into mainstream at more of an affordable cost than, of course, the crazily priced shoes from Back to the Future 2. You will need to download an app. You do have full controls on the shoe themselves for the self-auto-lacing technology, and it does actually have batteries in both shoes. These are not replaceable, but they will have to be charged on more of a QI charging pad, if you will. One thing also that I did like to see is that they still were able to keep the AirSole technology, so hopefully these will be as comfortable as they are functional. Quick look at the side of the box. Again, we have the Adapt branding, just an overall beautiful package. We will go ahead and open up the red first. Of course, right when you open the box, you know that we have something special. So we're gonna have to dig out these contents and see what we get. We will look at the shoes in one moment. As you can see, we have the Adapt instruction manual. You will next see the charging pad. Here we have the charging element. I like to see that it is USB Type-C, so Nike is thinking about future-proofing. On the bottom, Nike Adapt Charger 1.0. Then of course we have the Nike Swoosh. These two circles are where you will charge the shoes. Next, we will pull out this little Nike box here. Again, I'm loving the presentation. We know that this is going to be our charging cable. So they do give you a USB Type-C charging cable and a power brick in the box. All right, so I have the right shoe in my hand. If you press any button, it will blink. It's obviously ready for setup. To take a quick look, at the shoe, it is a very cool shoe. If I'm being honest, I would like shoes more that show laces here. However, because there's so much going on, I'm sure they're covering that up. It is a little bit heavier, but it's not as heavy as you would think. Of course, it has batteries and I'm sure different little motors inside of it to adjust the size. On the bottom, if you look closely, I don't know how well the camera picks this up, but you can actually see the circle where you want to set it on the element to charge. And other than that, I mean, it basically feels like a normal Nike shoe. Of course, it looks a little bit different and it lets you know that it might be something special. Give you a quick peek inside. Again, it doesn't look like anything crazy, but you can tell that there's something going on inside because it's just differently put together, if you would. Another thing I noticed, I'm a big collector of Nike Jordans, and you usually get a lot of glue issues on those shoes or stitching issues. One thing I've noticed with both pairs is you don't have that on these shoes. I don't know if that has to do with better quality of the material or the fact that they have to be put together in a certain way for them to hold over time. But it is a nice change for me because some of the shoes, as you know, if you collect, get really bad, especially along the edges here with glue. Now, one thing about these shoes, they are a little noisy. I'll let you hear that. When you lace or unlace, you actually do hear that. And when you're walking around or you're playing in your game, if you tighten or loosen the shoes, people will definitely know it's happening. It will light up when that happens. And of course, these colors are fully adjustable. We'll look at that in a moment. All right, so I'm gonna get the black and white ones out. Of course, they all come with the same accessories, but we will compare the two in case you want to maybe decide on a color. All right, so we got the red and the white side by side. As you can see, they are more or less the same. If I was to pick one or the other, I would pick the white. I like the fact that the white keeps the white tongue. I'm not sure about the silver tongue and the red. I typically love red shoes, but in this case, I think that the Nike swoosh just pops out more on the white and black, but that's just my opinion. We will go through the setup of the app. I just wanted to give you a close look of the white versions. Again, the inside, more or less the same. We have that nice grip on the back to pull them on. And then of course, everything else is the same. And it also lets you see the charging element in the middle of the shoe so you know where to place it on the charging pad. Moving on to the AirJordan Adapt. Now these are going to be version 1.0. The box is all black in this case. Of course, it has the Adapt logo on it. And though we get the emblem of greatness, the AirJordan emblem, the box itself, you know, it's black, a little distressed. I like my packages on these kind of shoes to be nice and fresh. This is not the case, unfortunately. When we open it up, expect the same content with the exception it has some fancy foil. As far as the charging pad and what comes in the box, it will all be the same. We do, of course, get the Jordan emblem on the power charging box. And we will now get these out. Now, I am extremely excited about these. Retro11 shoes are my favorite by far. I collect them. The Retro11s are a shoe that is near and dear to my heart. One of the most comfortable shoes on the market. These are the Adapt versions. Of course, this is the first edition. I will say that these were definitely a pair of sneakers that I was more than willing to pay above retail for. The retail was $500, but they were extremely hard to get. They went very fast. Now, we do get a unique feature to these, and we'll look at that in a moment in the app. But first, let's check these shoes out close up. Now, as you can see on the side, we get the same push buttons, and of course, those will light up. We have the patented leather. We get the Jordan logo. They don't have big laces, but it almost looks as if they do have laces. So I definitely like the look of these much more, but again, still kind of yearning for them to put full-size laces and have those self-lacing. That will be a very big breakthrough for me once they're on these kind of shoes. We get the 23 logo on the back. Flipping the shoe around, you can see they pretty much look like any of the Retro11s. Now on the bottom, one thing I did notice, one, they look just like most of all my other Retro11s, but they don't have that circle that you can see physically where you put it on the charging pad. Other than that, these things are gorgeous in person. Side-by-side look here. Now, of course, these are not Adapt versions of the Retro11, but what I'm really looking for is Do they look the same? Are they cut the same way? And as you can see here, they're almost exactly the same. They have the mechanisms where the laces would be in the exact same spots. The patented leather is cut the same. The front of the shoe is cut the same. You know, these might be a little more narrow looking because the lacing is pulled in right now. But of course, if you tighten these down more or less, it's going to do the same thing. All right, looking at these from the back, as you can see, the Jordan logo is in the same place. We have the 23, and everything about the shoes are relatively the same. If anything slightly different here, I think that the bottom is cut slightly higher. And now we got a good look at the side, and again, as you can see, it's more or less the same. Why is this so important to me? Well, it's important because in order for this to carry on to all of our favorite versions of Jordans and any other Nikes, they have to have the ability to make them look the same. And in this case, they did a great job. The biggest notable thing I can say is the Adapt shoes are definitely much heavier shoes. Hopefully with time and innovation, that will come down a lot and they can weigh close to the same. Having a battery, having a lacing mechanism, you know, you kind of expect that for now, but so far they have done a phenomenal job and these shoes are sick. Okay, so first thing you want to do is charge your shoes fully. To do so, go ahead and plug in the USB Type-C to your charging pad and place your shoes on top of the charging element. Once you do this, the side lights will light up as it begins to charge. Once they are solid green, you know that they are ready to go. As you can see, they're charging. I have my game mode and my rest mode. That is actually how tight they're gonna be, and then you can always add additional modes if you'd like. The app will show you your battery level. You can connect multiple pairs of shoes. As you can see, we have both of ours here. Easily toggling between the two. If I want to use these, just go ahead and click it. And if you want to add more shoes, you would just hit the plus sign. In the app, you can check your software and make sure it's up to date. You can get support for your shoes right from the app. Then one of my favorite features is, of course, the Google Assistant. You can use any of these commands. It's very easy. You always just have to say open Nike Adapt and then whatever command you'd like. You can change the color, check your battery. So it's pretty nice that they incorporated the use of the Google Assistant. Now, to be clear, this will be the Google Assistant on your phone. You don't have to be at home and use your Google Assistant at your home. If you'd like, you can change your icon. I wanted to circle back to the light effects. If you hold down the light button on the app, you can create new effects, or you can pick different colors. As you can see, there's a little bit more colors to choose from here, as well as mixing colors. So that's pretty nice, and it's really easy to use. You'll have full control over each shoe individually, so you don't necessarily always have to worry about presets. You also can change the color that comes out of the little controls on the side of the shoe. But as an example, if I want to use my left shoe tighter, and then the right also, and you can kind of see those lights coming on. Now, I told you I found a few new features. Let's check those out. Now that we're logged into the Jordans, as you can see, we have the Jumpman logo on top. To check out the unique features, let's go back into the colors. Go ahead and hold down that icon. Now, as you can see, we have the lights here. We could still pick and choose what kind of lights we want in colors. The difference I found, and again, this might just be software for now, we can leave these lights on for up to 60 minutes. Now, this is really cool to me because I wanted to leave the lights on, and as soon as I stopped adjusting the shoes, they would shut off, but they do not do that on these Jordans. So if we go to pulsing and we hit done, you could see now that these will actually stay on. Now, this isn't going to look that great on camera, but to get an idea, I'll go ahead and I'll just scroll through the different colors that we have. so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Now you can change these at any time. You can set your favorites depending on what you're doing. And of course you can have 2 colors at once. And you can even flip-flop that on your shoes, so you can have one on one side and one on the other. Once you have that feature set, you will notice now that down here, you can simply just press. You don't have to go back into that menu, and it will change to the colors that you picked. So pretty cool, and it also shows that you have the feature where it's always on, and if you just hold down, you can get back, and it says pulsing on for 60 minutes, so you know that that is it, and it will warn you when the battery is getting low if that's a concern. Now I'm going to give you a look. These are completely unlaced. I'm going to go ahead and tighten them all the way. So you can hear they're just as noisy as the other versions, but they get definitely really tight. And then of course you can unlace them. Now they didn't loosen as much until you pull them open, but of course if your foot was in there, that would be a different scenario. Now to the important stuff, the way these fit. It's very important that you have the socks on that you're likely going to wear, or at least, you know, the same thickness as usual. Make sure you're standing on a flat surface and your feet are all the way in the shoes before beginning this process. This is going to give you a set that actually adapts to your foot, giving you the best performance and results of the overall shoe lacing system, and if you're a basketball player, so on and so forth. As soon as you put your foot into the shoe, it will automatically activate, so you don't necessarily have to open up the app. So there you just saw it get tighter right here. All I did was slip my foot into the shoe. I just wanted to talk about the overall feel of the sneaker. Now, because of my health, I can't play ball anymore, but my son does. I did get him a pair just so we can kind of talk about how they perform. First and foremost, I can definitely see the self-lacing mechanism saving a lot of ankles and foot sprains. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't just tighten in the normal places. It almost feels as if the shoe tightens from the bottom all the way around your foot. Now, when it comes to basketball, if you're gonna cut, as you can see, you don't see the shoe start to buckle, and that's how you roll your ankle. Now, as you're playing and they loosen, the nice thing is the shoes will tighten themselves back up. Now, other than that, the bounce. The bounce meaning, do they feel like they have springs in them? And I can say, honestly, they have a great bounce to them. Now, the air in the bottom, of course, you don't have the air pockets that you see, but you can definitely feel it in the shoe. And I'm not sure if the mechanism actually does anything on the bottom, but it actually feels like it does when it self-laces. Now, the shoes overall could be used, I'm sure, for basketball or tennis or anything that you're doing on the street or on a court. They definitely look fly, and overall, I like them a lot. Now, that is completely loosened, and as you can see, we'll pull the tongue out like this, and then I'm gonna tighten, and you'll see that start to pull back. Now, this continues to happen all the way down inside, even though you can't see it. First off, the overall design, I think, needs work. Now, again, this is my personal opinion. I prefer to have laces on my sneakers, or at least the option. The next thing is they definitely need to work on making the product a little bit lighter, as they are heavy. I'm sure that this will continue to just get better and better. But also, I would love to see not just light up buttons, but maybe some light up RGB on the front that you can turn on or off. Now, of course, you can see that I love RGB, but it would definitely be nice to have the option to customize the entire sneaker. And if you're putting a battery in these, I don't see any reason not to do that. Now, other than that, I think that these are definitely a step in the right direction. They're pretty affordable at $400 when you compare it to the absurd amounts that we saw with the Back to the Future 2 shoes. But Overall, I think that I would give these a 7 out of 10. They can be lighter, a little bit more comfortable, and have more design language to the front, meaning give us at least one pair with laces that actually we can watch them lace up. I think that that also brings the unique and cool factor if you were to able to see what's going on with these mechanisms inside in the form of laces. So let's take a look at these shoes on the feet and how do they perform. As you can probably hear, what is happening is they self-adjust if they start to loosen in the wrong places. Now first, let's talk about the sole and the bounce. The Nike Air sole is definitely in these shoes. These shoes have great bounce. Even though they're a little bit heavier, they are still great performing basketball shoes. Now, if we tighten these up to the max, it's going to give you tremendous ankle support and foot support. So if you play tennis, again, basketball, these will work for both. But you guys and ladies know there's nothing better than when you're walking through the store and everybody's looking at your sneakers. They either know what they are or want to know where you got them, and these are them. Nike hit a home run. I love the fact that the lights stay turned on. They have more customizations. They also have great support and feel for the foot, as well as traction. You can cut, you're not going to be slipping around on the court. These are all in all a shoe that not only excites me because of the way they look and wear and feel every day, but it excites me because it tells me that Nike is on the right path to bring these to all of our favorite sneakers. Definitely, for those of you wondering, you do not get the creasing in the front, which I hate, and for whatever reason, as you can see, these don't even crease even in the slightest. They have held up extremely well. They still look brand new. Again, I do wish that they had some big fat laces on there to watch those tie. They don't, that's all right. But we have the strobe lights on, they look sick, they feel amazing, and these are a must for any collector and anyone that wants the future of shoes on their feet. Oh, I wanted to talk about the Adapt Jordan separately. I love both pairs of shoes, let me say that outright. Now, the reason why I gave the other ones a little bit lower rating is because, of course, one, I'm a huge Jordan fan, and two, I like the fact that they're starting to take shoes that we love and putting the technology into those. Now, as far as shoes go, these to me are at the top of the food chain right now. They got the newest, latest, greatest technology, as well as the style that we all yearn for in one. Now, so far, it has been nothing but a pleasant experience for me, but I will say that there is some worries to these technologies, and that is what happens if the shoe breaks? How long will these batteries last? Is this a shoe that will last essentially forever, especially when you're a collector? The biggest issue is that there is no real way to manually do anything without power going to the shoe. So if that was to be the case, and let's say the batteries just were shot in the shoe, I'm assuming that you would kind of be able to maybe put some small laces in there and lace them up. So that is the only drawback I see. But as far as these right now go, I'm giving these a 10 out of 10. They got style, they got performance, and they got technology. And for me, that is a win-win in my book. Nike is off to something very special. I can't wait to see what shoes they put the Adapt technology into next. That pretty much wraps up my review. I hope you liked it. I just want to say thank you one more time for joining me, invite you to subscribe one last time, and remember, I do YouTube for you and you only, and I want to just say the world is a mess right now, and the only people that can change it is you and I. And what we could do is go out today or any day and do a small act of kindness for someone. It is amazing how far the smallest act of kindness can go in this world, especially when we are seeing the utter chaos that we're seeing. Thank you so much for joining me and for your support. I can't wait to hear from you in the comments and see you in the next video. And until then, I'm JB Tech Fanatic and I'm out. Peace.